What's up, what's up? Just want to show you real quick the spot that we're going to be able to farm our reactors, as well as the mobbing build that works out super well to farm this and just farming stuff in general. So for today's grand adventure, we are taking our passport and head over to Echo Swamp. And we are inside of the Musket Swamp area. The quest that we're going to be doing is the Tree of Truth. And this is going to be available to us for the next 6 days. 6 days and 20 hours, so pretty much 7 days. And we are looking for reactors for the Python, ideally for the Massacre build. So the general process of this, put over here. So what you want to go ahead and do is activate these Vulgus resource storage. Now you can use this on Gley, do this on Bunny. Just grab somebody that's able to farm fast. Activate this. Boom. Now you can just kill the mobs. This is the best I actually ended up getting. The mounting, I actually wanted for Pythons to Thunder Cage, but it has skill cooldown as well as additional skill attack when attacking Colossus, which are both good, but they're not gold. So it is a little bit unfortunate. So these are the ideal rolls if you want to get a very clean loop when it is coming to the Massacre setup. Something else that you can mess around with is skill cooldown as well as non-attribute, or skill cooldown as well as dimensional or dimension. Something else that you can play around with is duration as well as skill cooldown for the setup. These are all good options. They're going to be quality double rolls, but this is going to be the ideal setup with the Python mounting. Something that I'm messing around with the sharp precision shot is adding more duration or just going double offensive, but that still needs to be tested. And this is a safe pick. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about the build and how this thing works. First off, we have multi-talented, which we talked about in our last video. So this is what we're utilizing in order to gain more cooldown. When we do end up popping our 2, which is this right here, this is going to allow us to not only hit a bunch of different targets, but we can use this in combination with multi-talented. And if we do have the buff up, we're able to spam this. And there's some different tricks that we'll talk about inside this video as well. But this is the whole core of the build, essentially. And this is what our setup looks like. And in order to get this to work well, you need massive simplification. I just want to do a quick little shout out to the gamer by the name of Zilly that's putting up cool old Gley stuff on YouTube. Inside the Discord, I actually got linked the good old AoE build setup, something that I played around with as well. And it seems like we have some similar takes on good old Gley. And they also introduced a cool little trick, which I'll show you right now. So what you can do is when you press your, so it's C for me, but we'll say the second skill, which is the AoE. When you do press this and you see the damage numbers pop up, if you drop your 1 or Q to drop out of frenzy, as soon as those damage numbers pop up, you can press that button and you will be able to heal as well as deal damage. So let's go ahead and do a visual right here. Let's drop out of frenzy. So we'll press Q. We're going to press C. And you see right there, I didn't get the HP back. That's the typical flow of things. And then you would have to press C in order to heal. Now that heal is based off of however many targets that you're hitting. But the trick is to press Q and then C. And you see there, when we got the damage numbers, we dropped out of frenzy and we were able to deal the damage as well as heal. Don't know how long this is going to be inside the game. You know, hey, hopefully we have it indefinitely, but this is a nice way to get 2 effects at the same time. And that's what we were using inside of the video before very often. So in order to spam your good old AoE, you're going to need to go ahead and get the buff that lowers your cooldown. So play around with multi-talented a little bit so that way you get familiar with it, familiar with the timing and whatnot. Now, if you want to do a budget version of this that doesn't have the instant ability to keep on spamming the AoE, which you don't necessarily need, you could drop the skill simplification and still do good enough damage. Then you would drop like increased HP, and then from there maybe multi-talented. And I would say this is probably the most budget I would go with this. So it still feels pretty solid. But at the same time, without that extra HP, you are going to feel more frail. I would say this is more towards a in-game mobbing setup. Otherwise, I probably just run around and use the launcher or bunny, to be honest. So for this build, the weapons don't really matter too much for the mobbing because you are just spamming your massive sanctification. You can go with a weapon that does a lot of damage to a single target. So Python, of course, is good. Thunder Cage. Just pick whatever weapon that you want. For those bulkier mobs, mainly for like dungeons and whatnot. So there are two sets that I would take into consideration. The Slayer set is good, of course, and then I would say you can go with the Annihilation set. So the Annihilation set is just going to give you good defensive stats because in reality, you don't really need this extra 26% skill power to kill mobs. I find this to be a little bit too much for this setup. While adding that extra bulk can feel good as you just run around, and overall you want the build to feel good as you're playing it. So yeah, I'd go for a little bit extra bulk. And when you are farming for the modules, having the increased equipment drop rate, I have found that helps out a decent bit. So yeah, go to get your good old farming gear. And honestly, I've run around with a broken set. I just have this on. Because you are still losing the HP with the extra skill cost, but it's fine because you regain all of it back. But extra skill power really doesn't matter much because you're one-shotting most of the mobs anyway. So yeah, pick either the Slayer set, the Annihilation set, or whatever set that you have that is pretty bulky. You don't really need the extra power. Just go for whatever feels more comfortable for you. Now the roles that you are going to want are going to be max HP, of course. Then consumable drop rate is going to give you more health packs, and the HP recovery modifier is fantastic for Gley, just a really good stat overall. For here, defense is very, very good, and then gold drop rate is also solid. And then for farming in particular, I do like having equipment drop or item acquisition. Item acquisition, I feel like it ended up with Amorphous, but I'm not 100% sure. But you know, it could be a little bit of a placebo effect. But as a build overall, just want to show a quick little thing. Have some more builds coming out very, very soon, and have some more actual, you know, entertainment style content coming out very soon. And that is it for me. Right before I end up dipping out, hey, let me know what kind of content you guys still need, and I'll go ahead and help out with that. Also, I have a Discord, so you can reach out to me through there as well. I'll put that inside the link below. Peace.